Welcome back to the Practical Dreamers podcast, where your dreams and finances collide. I'm Charm,
And I'm Dara.
and we're your guides on this journey to financial freedom. And today we're going to be talking about something that I think is the biggest wealth killer for most Americans. I'll even go broad and say that Americans today, and that is car payments. And so we're going to watch a series of videos of individuals of where they are in their car payments, or we're talking about it. And then, of course, we're going to give you funful tips on how to prevent yourself from falling into some of these traps that can come about. Dira, anything to add there?
We don't want you to fall into those traps. So we got y'all.
Sounds good. All right, let's start with our first video.
Stop buying cars that you can't afford. I mean, look at some of these repos that I found at auction today. Repo with temp tags. This thing is a 2024. Look, 2024 BMW Financial. So I'm not making this up. Dude didn't even get to finish his drink and take his Walmart bag. Look at this thing. How many miles are on it, I wonder? Let's see. It's got 218 miles. What the hell is going on, bro? Another repo with a temp tag. So people cannot afford these cars for over a month. This is a 2023 iX. Look at this thing. It is for electric. Look at that. It looks like it might have been a voluntary because they gave him the two keys. Some people do, realize they can't afford the car, so they take it to the dealer and tell him, hey, here's the car. I can't do this anymore. And look at this. It is for electric, so y'all probably can't hear anything. But look at the panoramic sunroof. This thing is sick. Another repo with a temp tag. Look at this. This is a 2018 M550. But it looks like when they were repoing this car, they actually messed up big time. Because look at the front. They messed up big time. Look at the inside. That's crazy. Of course, one key. It's not in bad condition for a repo. But let's see if it will start. It does start. It's actually pretty good. As y'all can see that? They messed up on the front end. Every day, there's new BMW repos at the auction. I'm going to be coming here daily to show you guys the new ones once they get here. So follow me if you want to see more of these crazy cars.
All right.
Wow. Those are some nice cars.
First off, yes, I was like, wait, where auction is this?
Right.
I
Taking
might
notes.
be
Like, where
I'll
are
be
you
on the
at?
market in like a couple years possibly for a new car. Let me go get one of these repo cars.
I know, for real. But oh my goodness, what a shame. With temp tags, that's that's rough.
That is
That's rough
rough.
to come to that realization in under it's a month that temp tags are
About a
good
month,
for?
yeah, about a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
wild.
even to his
Well, I don't
point,
know if they came to the realization they
well,
got
right, it
repoed.
probably not. However, even to the one he said the guy didn't finish his Slurpee, he came outside, his car was going.
Gone.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean, all jokes aside, though, I mean, it's not funny in a sense because we don't know everyone's situation. We don't know what hardships they possibly came about. But again, this is a pure example of knowing the importance of what you can afford, so you don't
hmm
have the repo man coming and knocking at your door and taking your vehicle, and or not even knocking because or you walk outside and you don't know your vehicle is gone.
Yeah, that
Um,
part.
Yes. But I think funny enough, I haven't heard about the being your car being repossessed in years. I feel like when I was younger and I heard like maybe my sister and like in the rap songs, like they used to talk about the repo man. But but and I don't know.
I witnessed a repo before,
Oh
so
really?
I
Oh.
did, yeah.
Someone you knew?
Um yes, one of
Or you
my
want
family members.
oh
Yes, I don't want to shout them out,
no. Oh.
but yes, it was interesting because she thought her car got stolen, so she was like running down the street, but really really it was the repo
That's
man.
not funny, but oh my gosh.
I
Oh, that's
know,
adorable.
I know. And then other people hiding cars in different spots and trying to trick them.
Now, I mean, honestly, that I probably heard more recently. But
Mm,
again, I will say that
yeah.
my circle was pretty small, though. So thankfully, I guess we're not in that position where We
Yeah.
hear about the repo man, but they're out. The repossession, I should say, it's repo man. The repossession is real and it's out there.
There are repo women too.
Right. Oh yes, gender equal.
Yes. But what I did find interesting is the second car that they showed, they said that the person actually surrendered the vehicle. Like they came to the realization on their own that this just wasn't working. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I
hopefully
mean,
it doesn't come
it's a
to
tough
that.
it's a tough decision, but I mean, I will say I applaud them. I'm proud that they actually made that realization because it saves
That's
them probably in
hard.
the long run too.
And that's a hard decision, especially when you're like set on getting a car, you get the one you want, and then it's like, this is not working. Got to turn it
Right.
in. So that's rough.
Yep. All right. Let's watch our next video.
All right, for Tesla, this is how much you should be making to drive a Model Y. This one costs $49,940. We're going to use the 24/10 rule again. That means by putting 20% down, our monthly payment will be $884 a month. The average insurance and maintenance costs of a Model Y come out to $204 a month. That means your monthly payment is going to be $1,088. Multiply that by 10 to get our monthly income needed. Multiply that by 12 to get your annual salary, which is $130K a year to drive a Tesla Model Y. You could probably get away with a little less though.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, we went from, well, I can tell you right now, we might see those Teslas in the auction that the gentleman was just in the last video.
Possibly.
If that's
Yes.
the car payment, I mean, he said $1,088.
Yes. 1088 to be exact.
1080.
Yes. And then the salary, he said, need to be at least 130.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
130.
right, 130. So if you're slightly under, or, this might not be the car for you. But this was on the cheaper side, I thought, for a Tesla.
Well, the Model Y is, I believe that's the one that came out that's most affordable
I
for
don't know what that
individuals.
one looks like.
It's not my favorite, I can tell you. I mean, I've once upon a time had a dream that I was going to have a Tesla,
Mm.
and I woke up um, with no Tesla. Um, but again, I mean, that's the one that's a little bit more affordable. Other Teslas, I know when I was looking previously, the Model S is the one that I really liked. That one
Mhm.
was about 80,000.
Okay, that's what I
So
expected to see, that it would
yeah,
be about 80. But like you
yeah.
said, if this is the more affordable one.
Well, I will say, I mean, a Tesla is seen as a somewhat of a luxury car, even though I did say that this is the more affordable version, but still, it's still
Mhm.
seen as a luxury vehicle where paying $1,000, if someone told me they're paying $1,000 for a Tesla, it probably wouldn't raise my eyebrows, to be honest, because I know
Mhm.
that is an expensive car. However, if you're telling me that your car payment is over $1,000 and you're driving I don't even know, like a Honda Civic or something like, something that, not to say, listen, I have a Honda, so I'm not dishing Hondas or anything like that, but
Yeah, I
more
get you.
so just something that's on a different scale of
Mhm.
luxury.
Right.
That's where I'm probably going to be more concerned and I think that's where we are as far as most people are driving cars that are not necessarily of luxury and their car payments are in the high 800s, nine, like
That's true.
whatever.
Because he
And I,
didn't take it. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, because there was we didn't hear anything about what the actual APR was on this loan, or what the credit, like this could have been with excellent credit. Who knows? You know what I mean? And
Right.
this is what they came up with. But that's also something you got to take into account. This could be more so on the lower end for something like that. But yes, I've heard of people who are paying prices like this, Tesla prices, for something that is far less Tesla like, or on the luxury side. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. But on the note of electric cars, though, what are your thoughts with electric cars currently? Do you think that this is something that you would one day invest in?
As of right now, no. Just because, listen, I'm all for the environment. I love it. Like, I try to be as conscious of everything as possible. So it has nothing to do with that. It's more so the technology is still rather on the newer side. And then also in terms of like charging these things, that's where they get me. Like, I'm not sitting somewhere for a whole hour waiting for my car to charge up when I could have just got some gas and been on about my merry way. Like, I can't
You
spend the
got to
days
build
in
that
parking
time
lots.
in now.
Right. Like, you got to bring a book just to
Right.
go sit, get your car charged. No, thank you.
Family
So,
road trips, you got to plan extra hours for stopping, more money to spend. Oh,
exactly.
goodness.
Yeah. So for me, it doesn't seem practical. But shout out to anybody who enjoys them.
Absolutely. And if I can add to that too, I think my biggest concern with us going towards that future state of getting electric cars would be the fact of maintenance. I
Mm,
think especially most people pride themselves when they are a car person, like when they know how to fix cars. Excuse me, let me say that. Like when they know how to fix cars, they're mechanics by nature.
mm-hmm.
Who the heck fixing electric cars nowadays? That's not going to be a skill that's going to be readily available.
Chat
So now
GPT.
it's a code that's off. The
Right.
off. They got to code it. But
I know.
I think that's taken away from that too, and that's an extra expense that I think people need to think through as well. Like getting an electric car, it seems like it might be some cost savings there, but if things go wrong, you can't go to your uncle
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Can you fix X, Y, and Z?" Like they're forcing you, in my opinion, they're forcing you now to have to go to someone that specializes in that, which is not, like I said, readily available as of today.
Right. And I'm sure the technology is super expensive. Like you probably have
Oh,
to
yeah.
change a computer chip or, like rewrite the whole program or,
First off,
all
see
that
the
stuff.
fact,
I don't know.
right? The fact that we don't even know what it is that can break and we how to fix it
No
speaks
clue.
volumes.
Because I can
Speaks
do a little
volumes.
bit under a hood, but I would not know what to do with a Tesla. Just be looking like,
You'll be in the trunk, by the way, because the front and the back they're both trunks. So
oh, well, see, look at that. I don't even know where to find my computer chip. So yeah, there's that. But have you also heard about I've heard that they charge that there's a tax or something for people that have electric cars because they're not participating in gas and the tax on gas, that they actually make the money up that way. Have you heard about that?
I have, and I don't know where this could potentially be, but I mean, I think I've heard it was some states that are doing this, not every
Mhm.
state. But again, like how wrong? Like now you're getting penalized for saving the world
Right.
to some degree. So you're getting taxed on this. Yeah. I mean, I did hear about that. I'm not 100% sure how true or what it really entails, but
Hmm.
it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is.
All right. On to the next one.
Yesterday, I surrendered my car to the bank because I couldn't afford my life anymore. Rough day. I won't go into detail about all that. But today, I'm a little sick, but my head is feeling better. God bless. What more could a boy ask for? Now, I'm working out my budget without a $366 insurance payment or a $500 car payment. So, yay! Progress!
Woo. Oh, well, I mean, bittersweet. He came to a realization that it just wasn't it
Right. I
and
mean,
made a budget. So,
yes, I would say this video it's showing someone that's very humble to share that information, but I appreciate that he's putting it out there.
hmm.
Because there's a lot of people that will still stay in that denial and try to keep up with the lifestyle. And that was the first thing he said. He said I couldn't keep up with the lifestyle. So he's admitted to himself that he needed to change some things. And getting rid of your car,
Hmm.
it's not easy. For individuals that are possibly out there doing it or going through it or thinking about doing it, depending on how you go about it, it can ruin your credit, but it doesn't ruin you. And that's the main thing here, I would
Hmm.
say. You don't want things to ruin you. It's a thing. And you
Hmm.
can rebuild. And so I think what I also appreciated about him sharing this, I did see some of the comments and people were very encouraging to say, that doesn't define you. You got this. I'm glad you came to that realization before you came down the future and you were really
Yeah.
in a poor position. Um, Not to say there weren't no other comments. There were some comments. They was a little
There
brutal.
always are.
They were a little brutal. But again, I give him grace for coming to this realization, as you shared earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And he even said like mentally it sucks, but at the same time he feels relieved. So that was nice to hear.
Yes.
He's getting some reprieve there. So it was worth it.
Yes. I mean, he's on to something. There's peace when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to financial freedom.
There is.
Chips are known for trying to get you, nickel and diming you, sneaking fees on you. You've got to do so much research that you know more about the car than they do. So number one, set a budget. Save up to pay for that car in cash. Once you find the car you're looking for, do a ton of research on it and do an inspection yourself and go for a test drive. If you like that, get a pre-purchase inspection on the car, which might cost you $100 to $150 to make sure that there's nothing wrong with this car. You're not buying a lemon here. Once you do that, you need to negotiate the out the door price. This is the most important part. They're going to try to sneak random fees on you, and you've got to be ready to walk out of there and go, no, I'm not paying that. So you got to pay for the car price, of course, sales tax and fees that are, part of your county and wheel taxes and all that stuff. And then probably a dock fee, which is probably going to be somewhere under $1,000. Outside of that, I'm not paying a bunch of fees. I'm not signing up for their warranties. And then be ready once you get that out the door price, land the deal, pay in cash. And by that, I mean a cashier's check, personal check, or a debit card.
Well, those were all great tips
They
that he
were. They really
provided.
were.
Now, I will say some of them have me thinking. I mean, I'm not sure how many individuals are paying in cash. I know that's what we would love to see more of. But let's be realistic. There's not a lot of people that'll be able to pay cash. Well, that's not true. Let me take that back. There's not a lot of people that will pay cash for the cars they want versus the
Right.
cars they need. Because the cars they want, I mean, you got $40,000 that you're dropping on a vehicle. Kudos to you. But for the other vehicles like the 20,000 or even 15, 10,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
hope you have that much cash at least saved up to 10 to 15, um, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not always the case. I know I used to buy what they call beater cars. Um, Usually spent like 3 to 4 grand or whatever, and I paid cash for them. Some have not been so successful, but yeah, I've had some. Well, it's just one that was trash,
Oh,
but
I remember.
yeah, tweaker. But yeah, I mean, it is doable. It was never cars that I was like excited. Well, I'll take that back. I was excited about getting a vehicle because I could get from point A to point B, but it was never anything that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for everybody to see this. Like it was nothing fancy, but it did what it needed to.
Overall, that was a great video with sharing some tips. And I think overall, we will summarize these tips for all of you as well that are listening. I mean, honestly, it's been quite some time since I've purchased a vehicle. So this is more so a refresher, even keeping me up to date on what's going on with everyone else in the world. But ideally, I can honestly say I don't look to jump back into the vehicle pool if the car payments are this high. I will gladly keep what I have.
Yeah, who are you telling?
No problem.
I've had the
Um,
same car for 10 years and I'm hoping 10 more. So
hey,
we'll see, even though people say I'm pushing it, but I'm going to try.
exactly. But all right, well,
Hmm.
let's go over those tips. I know one that I would share for everyone would be to set a budget. Make sure
Yes.
that you know exactly what you can afford before you
Realistic budget.
very
Realistic. That's the key word
practical.
there. Right.
Practical. Yes,
Yes.
let's keep
Remember the
that budget.
magic of being
Yes, of
practical.
being practical.
Yeah.
But yeah, making sure that you know what you can afford, and that please do not forget the cost of maintenance for that vehicle that needs to be factored into the overall
Hmm.
car payment itself, as well as the fuel and your insurance.
Yes.
So I think and just to add to that, I think when people say a car payment, like their car payment might be $500, $600, um, please add into your insurance and everything of that nature because that adds on. So then you possibly could be up to that $1,000 mark
Yeah,
quickly.
faster than you think.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, bear in mind that the goal is usually about like 10 to 15% of your take home pay per month. And that's what you should stay within the range of. And that again includes everything for the car insurance, maintenance, all that stuff. Also, don't sleep on a used car. Like some people are just like, I want brand new. I want to be the first one to drive it. Just keep in mind that when you drive off of that lot, you're already depreciating in value. So all those cars that were at the repo lot that had like 200 miles on them, guess what? They're worth a lot less now.
And just know that the car is new to you.
Yes, exactly. And with it being new to you, you also should do an inspection. So George had spoke about the pre-inspection, I think it was
Yeah,
pre-purchase
pre-purchase
inspection. So
inspection.
yeah, that's usually costs like 100 to $200, and it's definitely worth it to get that done prior to leaving, because in some states they don't have certain laws that will prevent you from basically getting screwed. So therefore, you want to make sure before you drive off that lot that that's in order. I should have done that time that I had that little tweaker car.
All right.
Any other points you can bring up?
And the last one that I can think of for my end is just do your research. Just make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're being smart with this choice and this decision, making sure that we already talked about the budget piece, but making sure that ideally the car that you're going to be purchasing is one that's going to last.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and overall, know what you're walking into. So,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely KBB, the Kelly Blue Book, that's a good resource for different information about cars, especially used car prices. They have a lot of stuff on there, so I would recommend using that as well to compare prices.
agreed.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps
Yep.
yeah. So if you like this video, and always check out our other content, and we'll have plenty more coming. And make sure you comment, subscribe, and do all the things. Share with somebody who's buying a car. May be helpful to them in the future.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone for joining today. And don't forget the magic of being practical. Until next time.
Bye.